Greetings, fellow crafters. 'Tis I, your Hello Queen. Welcome back to my court. Welcome if you're new. I have a post review slash whip and chat slash I'm not even sure what to talk about with regards to these here. I'm also going to want to do a little update for those people who have heard about the recent drama in my life. So grab yourself a drink, come on back, and I will tell you all of the tea. Stick around. Okay, so before we get started with what's going on here, I just wanted to give an update to those people who were concerned. In Monday night's lives, I mentioned that my daughter was in the hospital with her daddy. She had hurt her arm. We were trying to figure out what was going on. So it turns out what happened was Sunday afternoon, she had gone down to the park. She's 13. She's allowed to go by herself. And she tripped and fell. She's at that awkward 13-year-old age where she's a little bit clumsy. And she braced herself as she fell with both hands, mostly on her right hand, that is her dominant arm. And she felt something decide that it didn't like her anymore in the right arm. That is her dominant arm. So she came home. She was in tears. I calmed her down. We got some ice on it. I got some ibuprofen into her. She seemed okay. She complained about it a little bit the rest of the day, but it didn't seem like it was that big a deal. The next morning, she didn't want to go to school. She didn't want to move her arm. She wanted to just kind of cuddle it up close to her. I'm like, okay, well, let's get some ibuprofen into you. Let's get some more ice on it. We'll let you rest it because you're not going to be able to rest it at school. And we'll see how today goes. Well, by the time her daddy got home from work after school, her arm was swollen up all through the wrist and it was turning fun colors. I'm like, I don't know if it's broken, but she was babying it pretty heavily. I don't know if it's broken, but it definitely looks injured enough that I want to go rule that out. So I had been sick earlier that day. I think it was probably just something I ate, but I had been throwing up. So I'm like, I think Daddy, you're going to have to do it. I don't think I can do it. So Daddy, being the trooper that he was, he took a shower after work, loaded the kiddo in the car, and took her over to the hospital. And I live in a little town. We have a pretty good hospital here, but it's still a smaller town hospital. We don't have an urgent care, although there is sort of de-streaming in the emergency room where the truly urgent patients go one way and then the less urgent ones go to sort of a secondary area where they can kind of be seen in order of that they're brought in. So it's sort of like a emergency room and urgent care all in one kind of deal. So she went in there. They took an X-ray. They took an X-ray of her wrist because that's where the swelling and the discoloration was, and they didn't see anything. And they're like, okay, that's weird. And so they're testing her out, and she's definitely showing a lot of pain. So they're like, okay, so it feels like it's swelling up through here too. So let's take a little deeper X-ray. So they took an X-ray up to about here, and the doctor still didn't see any kind of fracture, but noticed that the radius was at a sync. So they went and took an X-ray of her whole arm, like from here down, and went, aha, it's right there. So it's the radial bone, the head of the radial bone. She managed to put a crack in it over here. And unfortunately, the radius is what allows you to twist your arm. So a crack in the end of the radial bone is no bueno. So they ended up having to give her some rudimentary. Actually, I don't think they did give her pain meds from what Brian was telling me. But they put her in a sling, called a larger hospital in London, which is the next bigger town over, London, Ontario, and Brian drove her over there to be seen there. So they did another X-ray, apparently, at Victoria Hospital to double check. And then they put her under, they set the bone and cast her arm. So she's got a cast basically from where the Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get my arm in there. But basically from where your t-shirt sleeve would cut off, all the way down over her thumb and around there. It's a big cast. And I will pause the video here to show you a picture of her in the hospital after she's come out from uh, her anesthesia. She doesn't remember it. As far as she's concerned, she was 1 minute she was awake, the next minute she was awake again and had a cast. It's like drugs were good then. So surgery may still be on the table if this doesn't heal well. It looks like it's in position. They did another x-ray after the cast was on to make sure that it looks like it's in position where it needs to be. But she has to go back to the orthopedist next Monday to get another x-ray of it and see how it's healing, because if it is not healing well, surgery is in the offing. So that's the update on Emily. She's home. She did not go to school today. It was 1:30 in the morning when they got home last night. So, and Daddy hadn't eaten since lunchtime. Neither one of them had eaten supper because he had to be there for her, and she wasn't allowed to eat just in case they decided, no, we can't do this. We need to put you under for surgery. So, yeah, she was a trooper. Daddy was a trooper. They did great, and everybody stayed home today. I made her a sling out of some pretty silvery fabric I had around because, as you can imagine, a cast that large is pretty heavy. But that's all the update for Emily. She's getting along pretty well. We'll see how she does in school tomorrow, or if she goes. But then I was cleaning up. I have been slowly cleaning up this family room for a while. It kind of exploded over the last 6 months or so. And have you ever put something away in a safe place so it doesn't get lost, and then you can't remember where the safe place is? That's what I did with my crystal, all of my special drill projects. I now have a tub like this, fairly large tub, filled with all of my small special drill projects, and another one that's all of the special drills for canvases I have, although that one is nowhere near full. But while I was in there, I found these little magnets that the kids had started, and I couldn't remember why they had started them and then not bothered finishing them. And I remembered it was because they never sent us number 13, which was this little guy's ears. So Emily, one of them had started, I think it was Emily, had started this guy, got the little saddle done, got the googly eyes done. I remember giggling over this fact that one of the drill sets that they gave me was googly eyes. But then realized that number 13 didn't exist and didn't know what to do with it. Fortunately, number 9, which makes up the nose of the koala, and these 2 pouches on ye pachyderm here, is the same size as the opening they had for 13. So rather than try and get them to send me fresh drills, I just decided to put number 9 on there. Don't think I have any left of 9 now. No, I don't have any left of 9 now. So it was exactly enough to finish these. So these 2 had not been started. Emily had started with, might have been Caitlin too. I do think it was Emily though, by putting the biggest drills on these guys. And I finished these this afternoon, or this evening, I suppose, just to get them done. But they're really cute. They're little magnets. They'll go in the fridge. I will be Mod Podging them just because they're going to get handled. They're going to get moved around on the fridge. And I don't want somebody to accidentally squidge one of the diamonds off of it. That, and they're still a little bit on the sticky, so that will help calm that down. I use Mod Podge Super Gloss when I'm doing that. These 2 I did on my own. And for whatever reason, the body of the piggy, they wanted me to use number 3, which is a green. I was like, why? Why for do you want me to make a green piggy? I don't get it. So I went, no, I don't think so. I've got lots of this light pink in the number 6. I'm going to make my piggy pink. Like the background for this was pink, but for some reason the number that it called for was 3. I don't get it. So I went ahead and made the piggy pink. Now these came in one of my subscription boxes from whim, and I don't remember which one. I had subscription boxes from, I think, July through October. So, but otherwise, I'm pretty happy with them. This one looks pretty cool. I like the different swirls of colors in the pachyderm and this giant thing. I had one bad drill, and I had one black drill left over. That's where it went. I got down to it. I had one drill left to throw on, and the 2 that were left were stuck together. I'm like, seriously? I ended up having to grab another tray and press them together to get them to separate. But yeah, so that's that. The other thing is, for some reason, there was 2 7s. 7 was where these, I suppose ellipses or ovals, the light pink ones were. That's the only 7s that were on there. And I still have several left. That's them there. But for some reason, they also sent me a, like, periwinkle blue 7 that it never called for. So they didn't send me the 13s that I needed, but they gave me 2 7s. And for some reason decided my piggy needed to be green. So I'm very confused. I'm very confused. But that's okay. They are done. They are cute as hell. And they're going to go on my fridge. So thank you for joining me. I know some people were concerned, especially since they know that I've recently become unemployed, with how much all of this is going to cost me for Emily having had her elbow broken. I live in civilized society where I don't have to pay out of pocket for medical costs. If she has to continue with a cast for a while, they will probably recommend that she gets a fiberglass cast that is less of a problem in water. The fiberglass will cost me money. I don't think it's terribly expensive on the order of things. It'll probably cost me the amount of a good sized diamond painting, but I mean, worth it. But all of the x-rays that she had, all the x-rays she's going to have, because there will be more, all of the doctor's time, all of that, I don't have to pay out of pocket for. It's entirely covered by taxes. So I appreciate the worry, but don't worry, we're fine. Such is the fun of living in Canada. The plaster cast she has now was free. And if she continues with just plain plaster casts from here out, then they will be free. When she broke her foot 5 years ago, was it 5 years ago? I think it was 5 years ago. She had to get a plastic walking boot, one of the airsoft boots. We had to pay for that, and it was $150. So that was not fun. Fortunately, at the time, I had good supplemental coverage through my work, so they ended up refunding me about 80% of that, if I recall correctly. But I don't have that anymore, so if she has to get fiberglass, then I will have to pay for that. Not a huge deal. I will be able to manage it. I'm just glad that she's going to be okay. But thank you for joining me. Like this video if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Keep it spooky, guys. Bye.